Hello. Today we're going to be talking about how I went down to 72 cents to my name on October 26, 2020. Everybody on Instagram, TikTok has been hitting me up and telling me, hey, I need to start posting on YouTube. They've actually been saying it for the past year, and here I am giving this a shot. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing, so if the quality is bad, the audio is bad, I don't know what ISO, the aperture, the 4K, the 10, I don't know what the hell any of this shit means, but I'm giving it a shot. So if it's bad, let me know in the comments below how I can adjust or what I could have done better for the video, because I do intend on doing this correctly. So yeah, I'm currently in Laguna Beach. We're in my G63, and I wish I was in my SVJ, but it's broken again. And yeah, we're gonna be cruising down Pacific Coast Highway, and might grab some more coffee, because I got coffee from Del Taco, because today is Christmas and everything is closed. It seems like everybody and their mom is in Laguna Beach today. So let's get moving, and I hope this comes out well. And if mom, dad, if you're seeing this, I'm wearing a seatbelt. Yeah, there's a lot of people. I thought today on Christmas it would be dead, but everybody and their moms out here in Laguna Beach. We're gonna be going northbound on Pacific Coast Highway and cruising. So let's get started. So a lot of people know me through social media, TikTok, IG. I posted a video back in April of me surprising my parents when I picked up my SVJ, and I pulled up on my parents at my brother's house. And that video, I think, probably has like across all the times that it got shared and taken off my account and posted at other places too, I want to probably assume close to like 100 million views, which is pretty crazy. On my page alone on TikTok and IG, I think it got like, I don't remember, I think it was like 9 million or something crazy, which for me at that time was like unheard of. And that really helped blow up my following for sure. So that's kind of what really took my social media to the moon. There's a dude on a bicycle behind me, and it's kind of pissing me off. Okay, so anyways, let's get into it. My story of going down to 72 cents to my name, and that, you heard that right. All I had to my name was 72 cents. And that was on October 26th of 2020. I'm gonna try my best to paint the picture. That was almost 5 years back, so memory is a little jaded, and trying to remember all the details, because my goal is to show you and tell you the exact feelings and emotions that I had at that time. And it is probably definitely one of the most pivotal moments in my life. And if you have time, I would like for you to watch this when you're relaxing, sitting down, laying down. Like, I want you to pay attention to everything that I say here. So let's get into it. Rewind, it's 2020. COVID just started in like March of that year. And at that time I had one fast food spot, and that fast food spot, when I first bought it back in 2018, I was working there full time. I did not have a GM there. I was the GM to be able to reduce cost. And I was probably taking home anywhere from like three to maybe $5,000 or $6,000, just depending on the month. And that's also because I did not have a general manager that I was paying $4,000 or $5,000 for. So basically I had bought myself a job at that time. So here comes COVID, lockdown, first time hits, and I'm like, bro, what the hell is going on? I remember the day that the actual lockdown happened. I got on the 91 freeway from Corona, which is typically freaking slammed, and it was empty. It was empty. And I said, oh shit. And I remember driving all the way down the 91 to the 241, and I maybe saw like 4 cars. And then my mind started turning. I said, oh shit, if no one's outside, I wonder if anyone's gonna get food. Reality was, no one was out getting food. Everybody was home. Fast forward like 2-3 months later, I get married, July of 2020. And I move out of my mom and my dad's house, first time ever, like becoming a man. I think I was like 23 years old, 23 or 20. I think I was 23 years old. First time like being a man. I moved out, and I had an apartment. At that time, the apartment rent was $2,010. Today, that same apartment is like $3,500, which is crazy. And we're only talking like 5 years back. So $2,010, and at that time I had a 911 that I bought off someone in my extended family for like cheap compared to what the car should have sold for. I paid like, I think $57,000 for it. My payment on that car was $700. My insurance was, I think, I think it was like $600 at that time. So my apartment's $3,000. My 911 is $700. My insurance is about $600. So all in, I'm at like $3,500 a month to break even and just pay for my apartment and my car. So COVID hits, sales are going up and down. I move out. I have a wife to take care of at that time, responsibilities through the roof. I'm feeling it big, right? Like, not only did I get married, I also moved out too. So like 2 huge big steps in life, and like the pressure's on, right? And I come from a family where the men take care of the wives no matter what. My dad, my mom, I don't think she's probably worked a year out of their 42-year-long marriage. So I never really saw my mom work, and I was always raised in a way to where it's like my dad took care of the family. That is my job. So like I said, pressure's on. At this time, I had maybe like 25 to 30 grand to my name. That was it. And at that time, my brother and our friend Mike, they partnered up and they started Baba's Hot Chicken, which is still there till this day in Riverside. Years later, I partnered up and I got into it too, in the corporate side. But I saw the success with the first one, and I wanted to open up my own in Costa Mesa because I quickly saw that that looks nice. I don't know if you can see there or not. Matte blue Range Rover ADHD. Sorry. What the fuck was I saying? Yeah. So I quickly saw the success with Baba's, and I said, I want in. And I quickly saw that my income was not going to allow me to grow. I would be able to pay the bills and just get by, but I was not going to be able to grow. And I wasn't going to be, and by grow, what I mean is like save money to invest into other things. And so every single month I was just getting by, and it was fucking scary. And, so I had like I said, 25, 30 grand to my name, and I go on loopnet.com. This is a plug for you guys. If you're trying to find a space to lease, loopnet.com, you can find commercial spaces to lease, whether it's like warehouse spaces to retail stores, whatever you're trying to find. It's a phenomenal site to use. Another site is crexi.com. So I went on LoopNet and I start scouring like crazy, and I'm trying to find a spot where I can open up a Baba's. And I go from fucking spot to spot to spot to spot, and eventually I stumble upon a place that was in Costa Mesa, California. It was a pre-existing barbecue spot. I looked up the reviews, and the reason why they closed was because they operated it like shit. According to the reviews, that there was like cockroaches and rats, and people stopped going there, and I guess they just didn't do a good enough job. And they ended up shutting down. So I went in there to view the space, and it was pretty much done. I didn't need to do a full build out. I didn't need to build a counter and shelves and all these other things. All I had to do was go in and buy some equipment and call it a day. Maybe some paint, the logo, some fryers, whatever. So I said, cool, this shouldn't cost me more than 20 grand, right? My dumbass didn't factor in multiple other things that also needed to be done too. So in August, I signed the lease, and I get October, I get 3 months of free rent, 2 or 3 months of free rent. No, I get 2 months of free rent. I signed the lease in August, and I take over the keys on September 1st. September 1st comes, I go in there, and I basically gut the whole thing. I throw out all the equipment. I repaint the interior as much as I could afford to do so. I was finding equipment as cheap as possible, but new, and doing the best that I could do. Now, towards the end of the construction of this spot, I had no idea how much money I had left. Now, mind you, let me paint the picture, all right? It's COVID. Sales are going up and sales are going down. My one fast food store, one point in time, I do $800 in a day, which if you own a fast food drive-through franchise, that's nothing. That's nothing. And some days it'd be crazy good, some days it'd be crazy bad, right? And I'm panicking. I'm panicking because I'm like, I have a apartment, I have a stupid car. Why did I buy this? I'm like beating myself up. And most importantly, I have a spouse that I need to take care of. And I'm stressed. I'm stressed as hell. So comes the final part to the build, which was the ice machine. The ice machine, which goes on top of the soda machine, I needed to buy. I don't know why. At that time, it just slipped my mind completely. And my brother was assisting me on finding all the things that I needed. And we found a guy. It cost $5,000, and that was like the cheapest bid that I got. Everyone else I remember at that time was like $9,000, $8,000, $13,000, and this dude who owned like a mom and pop organization for this was charging me $5,000 installed. I said, run it. Now, mind you, I did not know exactly how much money I had in my account at that time because I was too afraid to check. And my brother goes, all right, it's going to cost 5 G's. I said, all right. I wrote him a check, not knowing if that check was going to clear or not. And after I wrote the check, handed it to the guy, 2-3 days went by, and I was still too afraid to check how much money I had in my account. Now, this is where it gets wild. So comes the day, October 26th, 2020. And it's about 8-9 p.m. and my then spouse reaches out and what the fuck am I saying? She basically told me, hey, we need to get groceries. And I'm like, damn, all right. And I open up my phone, I check my Wells Fargo app, and I open it up, and the first thing I see is personal checking account had 0.72. And when I tell you, like, my heart sank to my stomach. So I got no sales or barely any, I got sales, no profit coming in from the first spot, right? And it's just allowing me to get by. But at this point, I think it was another lockdown, so sales go down again. Mind you, I have drive-through. 70% of the cash that I make comes through drive-through. 30% comes from dine-in. So not only does that 30% go away, business just slowed down completely. And so it was just horrible. I don't even, I hope to never experience, God willing, I don't want to ever experience anything like that ever again in my life, ever. So everything's done. It's like, I hate talking about it. Fuck. I lost my train of thought. So she asked me to get groceries. I check my phone. I see that, and my heart sinks. And I'm like, damn. And I start thinking, okay, I got all my credit cards maxed out. I got no money. My business checking account for my first store is low as hell, and I don't got nothing. What do I do? And I remember I had a credit card in my dresser of some random ass freaking card that got sent to me in the mail that I never activated. And I went in my room, I opened up the dresser, I got the card, and I go on the back of it. It had a QR code to scan and activate. And I was praying, I was like, God, please let this work. And I activate the card, it works, it sends me a thing saying you are good to use it. You have a credit balance of $1,000. And I'm like, awesome. And that's what got me by. And then comes the day of the actual grand opening of the store itself. And that has to be one of like the hardest days of my life. That was one of the most pivotal moments of my life. You know, I talk about, you know, perseverance and dealing with stuff and stress and anxiety and pushing and not accepting failure and all that. And that was a day that truly got tested. So the grand opening happened, and on that day, I remembered the success that the first Babas had, and watching the line. The line was fucking long as hell. It was the first store. Hey, there's my friend. If you guys know Sick Boy Cole, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, his Aventador. I watched the grand opening to that first spot open up, and there was a line fucking like 15, 20 feet wide and like 100 feet back. Like they just hit it out the park. So I was like, bro, if I don't have a line, I'm in some deep shit. If I don't have a line out the front on the first day, I'm in some deep shit. And the morning came of the grand opening, and I wake up at like 5, 6 in the morning, and I experienced my first ever panic attack. I never had a panic attack before that ever. And I woke up, my hands were shaking, and my ex-wife woke up and she's like, what the hell? And I was like, what if this doesn't work? Now mind you, at that time, my ex-wife had no idea. I didn't tell her what I was going through because I didn't want her to stress out, right? Now, like I said earlier, that I grew up watching my dad take care of me, my mom, my dad, me, my mom, my brother, my sister, and he was a general manager to a fast food spot with a salary of $6,000 a month. That's all my pops made for the longest time. And I watched my dad take care of my mom. I watched my dad take care of the family. I watched my dad fight through shit. I watched my dad, I watched us lose our house in 2013 or 11. I don't know what the fuck it was. Like 2011, 12, I don't know. But back then, I watched my dad lose the house and just keep it cool and be like, I will figure it out. And when we lost that house, this is like a side story too. When we lost that house, I remember my parents went to Costco, and I went too. My mom has this habit where every time she goes to Costco, she always has to stop by the jewelry section, and she always just has to look. And one time, once we lost the house, my mom went by the jewelry spot, and there was this like ring that she loved, and that was that. And she walked away, we bought the groceries, and then after that, we went home. The next day, my dad went, and on a credit card, my dad bought the ring for my mom. And I'll never forget that my dad bought the ring, and then my mom was so happy and then told my dad no. And my mom returned the ring. So not only did my pops try to show love and still do his best for my mom, but my mom also supported him too by saying, no, like, I know we're not in the best position right now. I don't need this, but thank you for doing that for me. So now you fast forward to me. That's why I didn't want to share. And it honestly put me in some like deep shit, because at that time I should have shared. I should have let my dad. And that's a piece of advice to you too, right? Like, try your best to be transparent with your partner. They should know the pains and struggles that you have, because if they're lost and if they don't know, then you can't expect them to have your back if they don't even know, right? So she's asking me like, what the hell is wrong? And I'm like, this has to work. She's like, it will work. And I'm like, but what if it doesn't? Right? I'm having like a straight panic attack. And I get up, I get ready, and I hop in the shower. And in the freaking shower, like, I'm there by myself, and it's getting bad. Like, I'm sitting there and I'm stressing hard. I'm stressing heavy. And I'm like, bro, what is going to happen? Like, everything is riding on this. If this does not work, I am screwed. I'm screwed. I don't know what I'm going to do. I already have one fast food store that's doing like shit. And if I have another one that's doing like shit, how am I going to pay the rent for both spots? How am I going to pay for the food for both spots? How am I going to pay for the employees for both spots? What am I going to do? Plus I have my bills too. As a business owner, you get paid last. It's not like, oh, sorry guys, I can't pay you. No, you get paid last. So, comes that day and I'm in the shower and I break down hard, bro. I start crying, bro. Like I'm not embarrassed to say that. That's the truth, man. I broke down. I broke down and I started crying in the shower, and I was like, God, I was praying to God. I was like, God, help me, please let this work. There's a prayer that we have. It's Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakil, which basically translates to, God, I'm overtaken with stress. That shit's gonna get me emotional. Damn. This is crazy, bro. Like how far I've came, and like I hate talking about this because it's definitely something that has affected me a lot in life, and but I do want other people to hear my story so they can learn from it too. But it translates to, God, I am overcome with, I think it's stress. Help me. And that's all I could start. All I was saying. I was like, God, help me. 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 Please, this has to work. God, help me. And I end up getting out of the shower. I get ready and I start driving there. And as I'm driving there, I am just experiencing the worst anxiety because I'm imagining I spent my whole life savings. Every dollar is riding on this moment. Every dollar, everything I have. And I got my family that's like proud of me. Like, we're so proud of you, son. You're doing it. My big brother, I'm taking the franchise that he started, the business that he started. I'm trying to take it to the next level. That's my big bro. I look up to him. I'm trying to make him proud. I got people like, a lot was riding on me at that time, right? And then the most important thing of them all, I needed to make money. That's all that mattered. I needed to make money. I needed money. And I'm driving down the 405 north, and like my hands are shaking, bro. My hands are shaking. And that's right. At this time, I had sold my 911 because it was about to break, and I bought a white AMG GTS. I'm driving that thing there, and it's the stupidest decision ever. Stop buying cars. Don't buy cars if you can't afford them. I kept buying dumb shit. All right. That's why I waited so long to buy this SVJ. I was like, I'm not going through that shit again. And so I'm driving down 405 north, and I take the 55 south, the bend, and that's like my favorite bend. I'm so stressed, and for the first time ever, I take that bend slowly. That bend I'd always take at like Mach fucking 8. Fly on that shit. That's the first time I was just cruising. I was praying. I was like, God, please, I'm begging you, please, like this. I was literally, my knee was like this. I have my hands like this. I'm driving like this. I'm like, God, help me. God, help me. God, help me. He just gave me the chills. I exit Baker, and I'm going through the lights. And as I get closer, I'm getting more anxiety, more stress. And I start crying, man, because I'm just like, I don't know what I'm going to do if this does not work. I am tapped out. I got no money. I am broke. And I got 2 businesses now that are relying upon me. This has to work. I end up taking a right, and I'm on Bristol. And the way the store was located was you could see it. Like, for example, right now I'm at this light. The store was on the left-hand side, and to get there, you needed to go down and make a U-turn first, and then you can get there. So I take the left, I'm driving. And the whole time, I'm just envisioning, I'm daydreaming, I'm like picturing a line, and I'm hoping for a line to be wrapped around the building, but my body is and my fucking mind is saying, no, it's gonna fail, it's gonna fail, it's gonna fail, it's gonna fail. Like, you know, when you talk about fighting your own like demons, like that was me fighting them, bro. And I'm driving, and now it's approaching on my left-hand side, and I'm saying this grand opening has to work. God, Ya Allah, please, God, help me. Let there be a line outside. And it was my time to look, and I felt like 1,000 pounds on me. I'll never forget that. The feeling of like 1,000 pounds on my chest and my neck feeling heavy, and me too afraid to look to the left in fear of what if nobody is outside the building waiting for the grand opening. Ugh, I hate talking about this. I don't want to ever speak about this story ever. If anybody ever asks me about this damn 72 cents story, I'm going to say just go here, watch the video, because I hate talking about it. And it's funny. So I'm driving by it, and I look to my left, and what do I see? And I'm praying. I said, God, please let there be a line out the front. Please let there be a line out the front. And I look, and there's a line wrapped around the front. And I remember, bro, I started yelling at the top of my lungs. I started screaming at the top of my lungs. I started socking the steering wheel. I had like tears going down my eyes. Started socking the steering wheel. I socked the air. I'll never forget. That car had a fucking dent. I socked the ceiling. I was just like so much pent up inside me. Like just, man. And I was just losing it, bro. Losing it. And I get to the light to make the U-turn, and I remember I had like my hands in my face like this, and I was crying. I was like, thank you, God, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And it worked. It worked. Now, here's the kicker, right? So, my brother and Mike started the franchise, and I had my experience with the fast food franchise that I know. So, Mike was supposed to show up on that day and help me out. My dumbass didn't get trained enough on the restaurant concept, whatever it is, and Mike has a kid, I think either the day of or the day before it, he can't show up. I'm like, fuck. I'm running this shit by myself. I don't even know how to make the food. I spent all this bread, my life savings, to build up this store, and I don't even know. And these are lessons learned. Lessons learned now, right? Hindsight 2020. Dumbest shit I could have ever done. Open a business and not even know everything about it? What are you, stupid? Yeah, I am. That was stupid. And Mike has a kid, first child ever. And he's like, bro, my wife, labor. I'm like, bro, you don't even got to say nothing. I get it, dog. Do you, bro? I will figure it out. Up until then, they had 2 employees that came from the other store to help train and do all this. So at this point, my employees knew more than me, which was crazy, right? So I had my employees, which were more trained than me, plus the 2 trainers from the first store. And I walk in there, and all my employees, I was telling you guys, we were hoping for a fucking line, and we got the line. And they're like, dude, this is about to be wild. I'm like, I know. And all I could think about, was the money. That's the truth. I'm going to keep it real with you. All I could think about was I can pay my rent. I could pay my car note. I could take care of my wife. That was it. That's all I needed to do. All I needed to do. And we got to work. And I remember, like, we started, opened up, and I worked the front. All my employees were doing the back. I said, I can kill it here. Cashier side, ringing them up, customer service, like that's on me. I got it. And so we start turning and burning. We start selling food. It got so bad that the wait time went up to like 45 minutes. I'm like, oh shit, this is not going good. But whatever, just get the money in. Just get the money in. We'll figure it out, right? Fryers are being overloaded. They start like, it's a whole shit show. First day ever, whole shit show. And then like, we're talking like 5 p.m., right? We're just, employees are getting tired. I'm getting tired, but I'm like, I don't care. We're making money. All of a sudden, my Wi-Fi goes out. Welcome to the restaurant world. If you have one, you know exactly what the hell I'm saying. Anything and everything that could have gone wrong went wrong on that day. The most important, crucial day for me. The Wi-Fi goes out. When the Wi-Fi goes out, you can't collect money on credit cards. And it was a new POS system called Clover, and I had no idea how to, again, dumb mistakes. I should have been more trained on everything. I was so focused on just the success of it, not realizing that I'm not putting in enough time to actually operate the damn business. And so Wi-Fi goes out, and I'm trying to ring up customers, and there's a way to do it offline to where you can still swipe the card, it'll collect the info, but once you get back on Wi-Fi, it'll charge them. I could not figure that shit out for the life of me. I called support. Now, mind you, I still got a line out the front, bro. I have a line 120 deep at least, bare minimum, and there's a whole line, and people are waiting. And I'm sitting here on the phone at the front with a line in front of me of people, and I'm trying to get this shit to work. And so I said, screw it. And I end up just handing out food for free. I'm like, screw it. Let's just make people happy. Let's make the customers happy. Let's give them the food. Let's just do it for free, right? So we start doing that. Eventually, the Wi-Fi picks back up and everything's working smooth. Oh yeah, also, when the Wi-Fi died, the computers in the back, which told the employees what to make, also died too. So not only am I not collecting the money, I also can't tell my back of the house employees what food to make. So every person that was coming by, once they found out that the food was free, people like to take advantage of shit. So they start ordering everything. And I didn't want to be like, sorry, it's only this, right? I'm like, you came to my store, my shit broke down, I will take care of it. So I take out a pen, paper, I start writing down everybody's fucking order, writing it down, handing it back. Cluster. Then Wi-Fi got back up and everything went smooth again. And then as that's happening, right, all of a sudden the thing that prints the receipts starts smoking. Bro, I'm talking, that shit started smoking. Like, we were doing so much business, it started, I've never seen that in my life, ever. It was either like defective or whatever, but that shit started to smoke, bro. That shit started smoking. And my whole printer contraption just got fried. I was like, bro, fuck. I mean, thing after thing after thing was just going wrong. Ran out of this, ran out of that, sending employees to Smart and Final to grab stuff, and it was, and I'm just there all by myself, like one man, like not one man team, but like no one there that's supporting me, no one there that's like I know that's having my back. My brother went, he had to go do something, I don't remember what, but no one else is there. Mike's not there, he's the guy that even came up with this whole entire thing. He's not there. My brother's not there. My friends aren't there because I'm just so in the zone. My then wife came by with flowers, I think, and she's like, good shit. I'm like, thanks. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm going through right now, but I'm like, thank you. And we just kept going. I was on, I'll figure it out. And by the end of the night, I had done like, I think $7,000 or $8,000 in sales. And yeah, that business is what got me out the rut. Now, I'll tell you this much too. This is a whole as other story. After that, I didn't learn my lesson, and I went all in again on another business, and I lost my entire life savings, but not down to 72 cents, but I lost $120,000 in a month. Sounds like a reoccurring thing with my dumbass not being able to learn from past mistakes. That's a whole other story, but yeah, that is my story when I went down to 72 cents to my name. Pretty crazy, you know, for me to be able to sit here and talk about that time where now God has blessed me with so much more. And a lot of people sit there and tell me, oh, you're humble. How do you stay humble? Firstly, I don't know if I'm humble or not. I try my best to be. But I think one of the biggest things that allows me to stay grounded maybe is I reflect a lot. And I didn't even know that I do this until my girl now pointed it out to me. She goes, you know what you do a lot? I was like, huh? She goes, you reflect. I was like, what the hell does that mean? She goes, you reflect. I'm like, what does that mean? She goes, you always talk about the past and what things you've gone through and experiences in life, and you're always talking about just things that you've had to deal with. I'm like, yeah, you're right, I do. And I think I do that because a lot of times I sit there and I think about like where I've came from. I sit there and I think about us losing the house when I was in my teenage years. I remember going to Big Five Sporting Goods and I wanted to buy a airsoft gun, and it was like $110, and I asked my dad to buy it for me, and he's like, I can't. I started crying as he was like, oh, what the fuck are you doing? You know, I remember these things. I remember all the times when, you know, I didn't have it like how I have it now. And I feel so blessed. And I'm going to say this too. I'll openly say this. I don't care if you're Christian, Muslim, Jewish, this, that, blah, blah, blah. I firmly believe that everything comes from God, good and bad. And a lot of times people ask me like, well, how do you know that? Right? Or how did your faith in God increase? Or how did you get to this point where you believe in God, right? There's been so many times in my life where my back has been against the wall, or certain things just needed to get done, and there was no way for anybody, any human, any person to make those things happen. And the way that certain things happen could only have been a godsend. And maybe the first time is an anomaly, and the second time is maybe it was it, maybe it was not. But once it's the 15th time, once it's the 20th time, once it's the 100th time, it no longer becomes a coincidence, and you start seeing a pattern of sometimes when you ask, you shall truly receive. So that's why for me, I will always say that everything that I own and everything that I have is directly given to me by God. And yes, does he say in the Bible and the Quran, does he say believe in me but tie your own camel? What does that mean? That means don't just pray to God and don't do anything and expect something to happen. No, what that means is you pray, you ask, you do the right things, but you also do your part too. And I'm a big believer in that. You have to, at least from me, you have to have both things. You gotta do the right things, try to be the best person that you can be, but then also do the work, you know? So I hope you enjoyed this. This is my first ever vlog of this style. I've never shot like this before. I've never done anything like this before. I hope it looks good. I hope the quality is good. I hope the sound is good. I hope the shot was good. I don't know. I'm just running and gunning here. My brother's calling me. Hello.